Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go right into the second proper episode of the show, Ticketmaster. And I, of course, said second because I'm counting the pilot as one big hour-long episode for Friendship's Magic and whatnot. So I know more than one person in the community at this point that brings up not totally invalid issues with this episode, but overall, it's a pretty solid episode, and I'm going to address the issues that people have with this episode before I actually address the issues I have with this episode. But I just want to make this perfectly clear, I like this episode a lot. Like, 4 out of 5 like it. It's one of the easiest to watch episodes from the first season. First point that people make. The ponies are not acting in character, are acting against their elements. That was an air quotation, though. Second, Twilight is being kind of dense in this episode. Third point, why didn't Celestia, Hail Princess Celestia, send more tickets? I have pretty simple answers, or at least thoughts on all of these. The first point is that at this point in the show, we don't actually know a whole lot about these characters. It's actually rather hard to say what is and is not in character. And even with what we know later, none of them are really going against, their fundamental characters or acting against their elements. We've seen this behavior before from pretty much all of them. Twilight can be a spaz and is spazzing and not thinking straight, which is really the answer to the second point also. Rainbow Dash can be competitive and stubborn, and she's being both in this. Applejack can be opinionated and stubborn. I think she's just being stubborn. Rarity can and normally is a total drama queen, so, again, pretty in keeping. Pinkie is often thoughtless. I actually consider it one of her, primary character traits, and one of the reasons that I'm not really all that fond of the pink one early on. And Fluttershy. Actually, Fluttershy really doesn't do much to pressure Twilight in this episode. I actually think she kind of forgot that she was cleaning Twilight's house because she wanted the tickets. Which, by the way, that is one of the better parts of this episode. Second point, I actually just addressed that Twilight was panicking and not thinking, which she does a lot. Third point, and this one. First of all, I'd just like to say, how dare any pony insinuate that our god Empress did something wrong or incorrectly? Also, a point that I actually thought of the first time I watched the episode, how do we know that Celestia isn't sending tickets to every pony? I mean, really, we know that she sent tickets to Twilight via Spike. She might have sent the rest of them by mail. She might have also just assumed that Twilight would ask if she needed more. Now, on to the things that I actually did have issue with. All the ponies' reasons for going to the ball are stupid. Or at the least not very good reasons. Even if they're not bad reasons. Now, before starting this list, I'm going to point out that yes, this is a good show. And no, not all the ponies would know all these things. But surely one of the ponies in the group would have pointed these out. But I used the test of my nieces on this one. And while they didn't point out all the flaws in the ponies' ideas, they pointed out a lot of them. Applejack! No pony pointed out that this event was catered? Like, no one? Really? I mean, come on. I see that she might know this, or that she might still think that there's a chance for a profit, but really? Okay, sure. I give this a 7.5 out of 10 on the dumb scale. Rainbow Dash! This is less dumb and more... Okay, it's dumb. I would think that there would be some kind of rule or law against interrupting a flight show. While this is dumb, it's also very Rainbow Dash. So, 7.5 out of 7.5 on the dumb scale. The pink one. It hurts me to say this, but Pinkie actually has a less stupid reason to go than most of the others. I mean, she should really have probably known that this is not that kind of party, but she seems to have fun the second time around when she knows what kind of party it is. 4 out of 5 on the dumb scale, but I give it a +4 because she's the pink one, and that equals an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 on the dumb scale. Rarity. Wow, wow, Rarity. Even my 4-year-old niece at the time was like, that's a dumb reason to go. I mean, there's no way that Rarity would have known that the prince was a huge jerk, but just, wow, yikes. 10 out of 10 on the dumb scale, and the worst possible reason ever. Get it? Because she does the thing with the, never mind, I don't have to please you people. Fluttershy, okay, first up on this one, way to be rude, Rarity, but I hate to say this is the biggest issue I have with the whole rest of the episode. Fluttershy wanted to see the garden. She could, just ask. I'm sure that, Princess Celestia, hail Princess Celestia, wasn't going to, even if Princess Celestia wasn't going to invite her, I'm sure that Princess Celestia would have been like, oh, hey, you're that friend of Twilight Sparkle, one of the ones that helped save the world. Sure, you can see the gardens. I'll send you along with a guard to make sure nobody bugs you. It'll be great. Maybe you can get my socially awkward shut-in of a sister to come with you instead of just creeping on everybody's dreams at night like she normally does. Which brings me to the real issue, the Idiot Ball. If you don't know what the Idiot Ball is, go on over to tvtropesandidioms.com and take a look around. It's a great website to kill time. Actually, now that I think of it, don't go. I have probably spent a year of my life there. It's not worth it. Idiot Ball, a moment where a character's stupidity fuels an episode, or a small plot line. If multiple characters have the Idiot Ball, it becomes an idiot plot. Temporary or permanent genre blindness is often the cause of this trope. And this is an idiot episode. It's a fun idiot episode, because in real life, I've seen groups do this. I've been in groups that do this. Get so hung up on part of the problem that they can't see the answer looking at their teeth. Ha! Pony pun. Get it? Because don't look at, So, overall, a really fun early episode. I must say, however, if I do have one really huge issue with this, it's the Idiot Ball episode thing, and that this feels like a later episode. Like, this doesn't feel like a first episode after the pilot thing. I feel like this was shown out of sequence, and that we just get it in this order to have to kind of start and end the episode. So, notes! Alteration, well, there's a lot of them in this episode. Grand Galloping Gala, of course. All those P's that Pinky does. Girly Gallagher. Oh, by Celestia, there's a lot of these, and they're all pretty fun. Pony puns! Goody four shoes. Also, while at my withers, I am really impressed that they use the word withers in this episode. Like, at all. I love what a bad liar Fluttershy is. It's probably one of the better scenes in the whole thing. But probably my favorite sight gag, probably my favorite sight gag in the whole episode is the one where Twilight is, pulling the petals off the flower, and then she eats the petal because, she's a pony. Also, Rainbow Dash, are we sure that she is not the element of honesty? Because I love the fact that when called on why she's not helping, Applejack, she's just like, I was napping. Very honest. Thumbs up. Thank you for listening. You have a good one.